Well, it is Monday morning, and we might be seeing some parts for this combine here by noontime. And by 1 o'clock or so, 2 o'clock, the snow will probably be melted off the corn enough to allow us to be able to combine some stuff here today. The other day, what was that? It was a week ago. Right around a week ago, we combined, probably when we shouldn't have. There was some snow on the corn. Actually, I was doing a live stream the night we combined. And we got a lot of snow in the sieve area of the combine here. And I said, no big deal. We'll just blow it out with a compressor. This is an Ingersoll 185. The compressor you run a jackhammer with. We blow the equipment off and whatever with it. And the air gets warm enough out of this compressor where we have melted snow and ice out of the combine before. So I went to start this up. It had been sitting out all night. I don't know if it was Monday into Tuesday or Tuesday into Wednesday. And it started up, ran for a couple of minutes, and it quit. So I popped the fuel filter off on it, and the fuel filter was iced right over, and unhooked the line from the fuel tank. The tank was full and no fuel would come out of it. So we had gotten water in the tank at some point in time, and it found its way into the fuel system. And I'm just getting it going here now after replacing some filters on it and sucking the fuel out of the tank and putting some fresh fuel in there. But it is what it is. So, like I said, the parts are going to be here towards noontime. And Dan just called, said my mud tires are in. So I've taken the rear tires off of the green Chevy here. And we're going to run them over and get these swapped out. This truck, for whatever reason, wore out a couple of tires a while ago, so we were replacing 2 at a time on it, and it just happened to be this time around here. It was going to require replacing all 4, however, I thought I could get a little more time out of these back ones. Therefore, I replaced the front ones here, I don't know, a week, 10 days ago. Now the rear brakes have been grinding some. Front brakes are new. The rear brakes have been grinding some. I'm in okay shape on this side other than I need to replace the pads. The rotor is good. However, the rotor on this other side, the inside pad, is right down to the, boy, I don't know. At least it's not down to the, I don't think it's down to the caliper. But at any rate, you could see that the rotor, there ain't even half the rotor left to it. So long as this is a part, I might as well do the back brakes on it. But if I'm a little crunched on time, I'm just going to have to put the tires on it, run it, and then put the brakes on it another day here. So we'll just have to see how things go here today with our parts delivery. But in the meantime, I might as well get these tires over and get them switched. We can do the big tires, and we can do skid steer tires and implement tires or whatever, but these truck tires are a pain in the ass to get off the rim, and I've tried it before, and I've actually hit the rim with a damn tire hammer. So rather than risk ruining the rim, I think we'll just let the guys over at the tire shop do it, and then they can balance them too, and we'll get them back here and maybe get some brakes on this. These mud flaps here I put on this truck when it was new, and I need to put a new screw in this bottom part of this one here. So she's dangling there. But these are the extended ones. If you recall the other day, I put mud flaps on the Ram, and they were molded to fit the fender flare. However, these ones are the old style where you have to drill and install screws on. So let's get some parts for this and some tires. Well, just after we have removed the tires from the Chevy here, I received a phone call from Kaz that the parts were on their way, and Alex, however, just went over and picked everything up here now. They were going to be able to deliver them, but their delivery doesn't get here till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I didn't want to be that late with getting on this project here. So this is the new hub, and I had ordered this bushing separate, and that was going to be coming in on UPS. However, this hub came with the bushing already installed, so the bushing hasn't come in. However, it came with the hub here. Now, another thing I ordered the actual drive hub itself, and this drive hub here, it took us a little bit to get it off, and I thought there was just 4 shear pin holes in this, and there's not. There's actually threaded holes in here that you can use to maybe jack the hub itself away from the shaft. It's a tapered shaft that this hub goes onto, and what I did is I used I left the nut on, used a air hammer on the shaft, and then Jason pried with the pry bar against the pulley to keep pressure against it, and then it came off. The reason why I wanted to replace this hub is I didn't know how egged out the actual shear pin holes would be. This one here is egged out a little bit, and I thought these ones were as well, but they're actually threaded a larger size. You got an 8mm hole, and then I don't know, that wouldn't be a 10. That might be a 10mm hole there. But at any rate, we're going to go ahead and put the shroud on first. We've got this inner shroud here that bolts on, and then we'll get our pulleys on there, and then we can put the belts on and everything like that. So we might as well go ahead and get the parts put together here. All right, we have all of our new parts installed. We've got new belts on there, new center drive hub that the shear bolt goes through, and then we also replaced the hub on the back side. The actual drive hub itself, that's got a keyway in it, and then it's got 2 spots for shear bolts, and then 2 spots to put a tool on there to remove it. Either you put a real long bolt in. Well, no, I don't know. You wouldn't necessarily be able to put, no, the bolt wouldn't be able to go all the way through. You would have to have some kind of a flat plate to put over this outside of the shaft, and then tighten the bolts into it, and then that's how you would pull that hub off in there. So I ended up putting 2 12mm bolts in there just so that we don't go in the wrong hole. For when we put the shear pins in. Got to make sure you go in the right hole. That is an 8mm shear pin and a 12mm jack bolt, so there's a 4mm difference there, and that might cause some problems. So we're going to go ahead and swing the auger out, run it for a couple of minutes. I don't want to run it too long in here because I'll be making a mess on the floor, because you know there's a handful of corn in there. So I have this 5-gallon pail trap, and from Saturday night into Sunday morning, I had 4 mice that we ended up catching, and from Sunday into Monday morning, we ended up catching 2 more. So there's 6 dead mice in there. So we'll see how many more we can get. I'm probably just going to take that pail out for now and set it on the floor of the shop. I don't need it up in here. This cab ain't that big. I don't need it up in here while we're combining, but it would be nice to leave it in here when we're done at night. Alright, we'll swing this auger out. I think I got enough clearance here. Yeah. Well, it looks like we're gonna make a mess inside the truck. So we'll go ahead and hit the grain unload. Oh, that is nice and quiet. Nice and quiet. Right on my coffee cup and my phone. Alright, we are going to go up and get some fuel now. Actually, I'm going to put the corn head on. And while the combine's... Oh, I better listen to make sure I got everything closed up the way I should, because if I didn't, it would be crashing itself right now going out through the door here. So far it hasn't sounded expensive. So, we'll put the corn head on, pull up to the fuel tank, and while we're putting fuel in, we'll have to fold our bin extensions out. I'm not going to bother putting the tarp back on because I only have about 2 days of combining left. We got a short rest of the day here today, and then by tomorrow night I should be done. So the sun is shining very nicely out. One thing we have to watch is we don't hit that pole when you back out. That sure would be expensive. So we'll mosey on over. Oh, put the head on and get some fuel in this. Got a little tiny 6-row over here. We're able to travel down the road with that because it's only 15 feet wide. Unlike all the big guys on the old YouTubes there with either 8 rows or 12-row units. It's probably good that it is as late as it is here in the afternoon because the roads are dry. The roads were soaked earlier. And I really don't want to be out on the roads, out on the salty roads that is, with the combine. So I better put you guys down so I can use both hands to get hooked onto this head here. These small heads are just so much easier to put on than them big heads. You can actually put it on. You don't need 2 hands. So I'm actually not hooked where I need to be hooked. So I need to set it back down and start over again because I wasn't straight. I was starting to get all cocky on you here. And yeah. Now we've got it. All right. So now we're gonna go get some fuel. Well, we are just getting going here. We're zipping these headlands off so that we can get trucks in and out of the field. And we got these guys painting stripes on the road here. So we're gonna kind of be in their way, or they're gonna be in ours. This guy's not really knowing what to do with me videoing him, but it is what it is. So yeah, they're putting no passing zone stripes on that little part of the road, and then we're not sure if we're gonna be able to get too far into the field here, but we do have a wide driveway there, so the thinking is we're gonna pull up to the driveway and back in. The driveway's big enough that we can pull up alongside the trucks and load them one at a time and send them on their way. So they're going to be over here in a little while with a truck, and then we'll join back up with you here once we offload this onto Sarah. I've got about a half a bin on right now, and hopefully the unloading system works on this old girl. So you're kind of wondering, oh geez, why are you going backwards around the field? Well, we ain't gonna get her all the way around the field anyways before we have to offload. And I'm not sure how wet this is gonna be over on this one side over here. So rather than have my unloading side off into dingweeds, we'll keep it out into the field so that if the combine goes down, we can unload it and then try to work it out. But the ground seems pretty stiff. Now I'm just going down through the middle of the field now. That's because I had too many turns over there, and I hate turning trying to shell corn. So we'll join up with you once we unload our first bin, and hopefully everything works as good as it worked back at the shop. We don't have no tarp on the bin, so it looks a little different, or it did look a little different looking through the back window. I had a little more daylight shining in. We do have clean windows, however I did not clean the cab and grain bin window, so that window looks a little dirty. So we'll go ahead and keep at it. We'll join up with you in a minute here once we offload this. And there's a little bit of snow still on the corn, but it's not much, and it's a powdery snow, so it's just kind of, some of it's falling off and going through the head, falling through the head. But there's also some of it that's going to be going through the combine. So I've increased the wind a little bit, hoping that we can blow some of the snow right out the back. But I'm sure we're going to have a little bit on the sieves. And I haven't yet determined if I'm going to take the combine home tonight, or if I'm going to just leave it in the field and bring the compressor over and deal with the problems that we might potentially have from combining this corn with a little bit of snow on it, but there's not much at all here. So we'll join up with you in a while here. Well, here she goes, folks. Hit the bin unload here. Nice and quiet. Now, being that we don't have the tarp on here, I stopped. I'm not that full. I'm not, well, I am now, but I ended up having some corn come over the top of the cab here. So that is nice and quiet. And I stopped, had some corn come right over the top of the bin extension. So I better go ahead and grab a sample. See what we've got for moisture. I can do the bite test, I guess. The moisture tester with some corn. We'll see what this tests out to be. It bites like it's about 19, 18, 19. And it is 20%. Well, folks, that is gonna do it, and this is the first that we have gotten any cab corn on this combine. And you can see some on the ground right there, so it came right over the top here pretty good. So that is going to do it. We'll catch you at the next one. Take it easy, folks.